Welcome back to USA Car Reviews, where we bring you closer to the cars that defined generations and continue to inspire enthusiasts around the world. Today, we're stepping back into a true icon of automotive history, the 1970 Volkswagen Beetle. Few cars carry the kind of global recognition and emotional connection as the Beetle, and the 1970 model year holds a special place in the story of this legendary vehicle. The Volkswagen Beetle was born from a vision of simplicity, affordability, and practicality. By 1970, it was already a worldwide sensation. Millions had been sold across Europe, North America, South America, and beyond, and the Beetle wasn't just a car anymore, it was a cultural symbol. In the United States especially, it captured the imagination of a generation that wanted something different from the big, chrome-covered American cars of the 60s. It was small, it was quirky, and it had a character that no other vehicle could match. The 1970 model brought subtle but important updates that gave it its own personality within the Beetle family. Under the rear hood sat the classic air-cooled, flat-4 engine, delivering about 57 horsepower in the 1600cc version. Now, by today's standards, that might sound tiny, but back then, it was all about efficiency, reliability, and simplicity. This engine was practically bulletproof, designed to keep running with basic maintenance. Drivers loved how easy it was to work on. You didn't need a degree in engineering to keep a Beetle on the road. Parts were cheap, fuel economy was excellent for its time, and the rear-mounted engine gave the car a distinctive driving feel. One of the biggest changes for the 1970 Volkswagen Beetle was the introduction of the 1600cc single-port engine in the US market, which added more power compared to earlier models. Along with this, VW improved safety with features like a collapsible steering column and larger taillights, making the Beetle more modern while still keeping its charm. The suspension was refined too, which improved handling and gave the car a slightly smoother ride. But let's be honest, most people didn't fall in love with the Beetle because of horsepower or handling. They loved it because it had personality. That rounded, bug-like shape, the friendly face, the unmistakable sound of the air-cooled motor, it gave the car a soul. The 1970 Beetle was still instantly recognizable, with its curvy fenders, round headlights, and compact proportions that made it so easy to park and maneuver through crowded city streets. Inside, the Beetle's cabin was simple, almost minimalist. By 1970, Volkswagen had added a bit more refinement, like a padded dashboard for safety and slightly more comfortable seating. But it was still a straightforward environment: basic gauges, a thin steering wheel, manual controls, and plenty of open space. Yet, that simplicity was exactly what gave the Beetle its charm. It wasn't trying to be luxurious or high-tech. It was just honest transportation, stripped down to what mattered most, getting you where you needed to go. The Beetle also became more than just a car, it was a lifestyle statement. In the late 1960s and early 70s, it was embraced by young people, by the counterculture movement, and by anyone who wanted to stand apart from the mainstream. Owning a Beetle wasn't just about driving, it was about expressing individuality. You could find them painted in wild colors, decorated with flowers and stickers, or converted into dune buggies and campers. It was the kind of car that encouraged creativity and personal expression. Driving a 1970 Beetle today feels like stepping back into a different era. The steering is light, the gearbox has that classic mechanical feel, and the sound of the engine buzzing behind you is unlike anything else. It's not fast, but it's fun. Every drive feels like an adventure, reminding you of a time when driving was more about the experience than the speed or technology. Another reason the 1970 Volkswagen Beetle holds such a strong place in automotive history is its durability. Many of these cars are still on the road today, lovingly restored by enthusiasts or preserved as daily drivers. It's common to see a Beetle that has been passed down through generations, each owner adding their own touch while preserving the essence of the car. That kind of legacy is rare, and it speaks volumes about how well Volkswagen executed the Beetle's design. Even in 1970, the Beetle was already considered a classic, and today it's one of the most collectible and beloved vintage cars out there. Its affordability, endless parts availability, and massive community of enthusiasts make it a perfect entry point into the world of classic cars. Whether you're restoring one to factory specs or customizing it into something wild and unique, the Beetle gives you a platform full of possibilities. So, when we look back at the 1970 Volkswagen Beetle, we're not just looking at another car. We're looking at a rolling piece of history, a symbol of freedom, individuality, and timeless design. It's a car that proved you don't need massive power or luxury features to win hearts around the world. Sometimes, all it takes is simplicity, reliability, and a little bit of charm. Here at USA Car Reviews, we celebrate cars like the 1970 Volkswagen Beetle because they remind us why we fell in love with automobiles in the first place. It's more than metal, rubber, and glass. It's memories, emotions, and a shared story that spans generations. And the Beetle's story is one of the greatest ever told in the automotive world.